She actually said it's 8 cm open. That means the baby is about to come at 34 weeks. Oh, we didn't even have a baby cot or a stroller. There was nothing. I just know I'm left there on the bed alone, like I don't know what to do. Every pregnancy is unique. One of the possible complications that comes with pregnancy is premature birth. She was born at 34 weeks and she was admitted to the neonatal ICU. I'm here to share the story of the birth of Linne, a bit of insight on premature birth and also neonatal ICU. Hopefully you can learn something from it. It was a spontaneous natural birth. At about 34 weeks of my pregnancy, I had a contraction, more intense contraction than normal. I have read that it's normal to have contraction during your third trimester, so I was like taking note of it, but not entirely sure what is it. Maybe it's just a test, maybe it's just a false alarm. But I was paying attention to it. So it gets more regular and intense on the second day. So I realized maybe we should check it out. Well, I was the first time mother. I do not know how does a labor contraction feels like. So I went to the hospital and they actually strapped me on some machines and test out the contraction. And the nurse noticed that, yeah, maybe it's something significant that we should call the doctor. So she also checked the dilation of my cervix. She actually said it's 8 cm open. That means the baby is about to come at 34 weeks. That was 7 months plus. We actually did not buy any baby product yet, or we didn't even have a baby cot or a stroller. There was nothing. We actually, the next day, we are supposed to go and buy because my mother-in-law was here, so I thought we will go shopping together. She might help me with buying some baby products, giving me some advice. And before the next day come, I was already in the hospital and the nurses are telling me, doctor is coming now and you probably will be delivering soon. So I was like, okay, I don't know anything. I just lie there and let them do whatever they want. I mean, I did read up something about labor and how it's going to be. But essentially, I just let the body do whatever it is doing and just let it happen. It was not as crazy because my baby was quite small. So I think within half an hour after the doctor arrival, the baby is already out. It just came out like that. For premature babies, do keep in mind for all mothers, you do not get the cuddly process, oh my baby is gonna breastfeed my baby. No moment like that. Immediately when the baby was born, the doctor just take him away into the tube. Actually, I did not see what is happening. I have no idea where the baby go, what happened to my baby. I just know I'm left there on the bed alone, like I don't know what to do. And the baby was just gone. Hey, where's my baby? I'm supposed to hug my baby now. But yeah, if your baby is born premature, the doctor need to immediately pass it to the pediatric to check and ensure everything is okay. Whatever the baby is lacking, they need to immediately give assistance. I only get to see my baby on the next day after I have rest, after the baby is stabilized. She was in the ICU and taken care by the nurses there and the special NICU pediatric there. I was lucky that I was in a government hospital. Government hospital, they normally have a few NICU unit, it's like the incubator. So if there are a few babies, they usually have a few units there for your baby to use. Because giving birth is random, they cannot prepare for you unless it's a cesarean, a planned cesarean. So in an emergency case, I would recommend a government hospital because they are more prepared to deal with any emergency. They have more equipment and more manpower. So the baby came out around 1.9 kg. At 34 weeks, her lung was already quite fully developed and she was able to breathe by herself. She didn't need an inhaler in the incubator, but she was placed inside the incubator because baby that young, normally they cannot regulate their temperature yet. The incubator keep her in a constant 37 degrees. Okay, so she could not feed independently. At that age, they are still supposed to get the nutrient from the placenta. So she doesn't know how to swallow yet. So we need to assist her with feeding. The nurse actually will put a tube through the nose into the stomach. So we manually pump the milk in with a syringe. So you can either put formula milk or you can express your breast milk to do it. So Linne was in the ICU for 1 week. So that 1 week, the nurse actually took care of her. We are able to visit her daily. So we usually just go for an hour a day to check on her progress. On the second week, she's already out of the ICU, but I still need to be in the hospital with her in a normal bed, normal unit. She'll be in an incubator next to you. So because this is to give room to other babies that need the intense care from the nurse. So at this point, you are supposed to take care of the baby with the assistance of the equipment in the hospital. She still has some machine strapped to her about her heartbeat and heart rate and also the body temperature. But in terms of feeding, we as the mother will need to manually do it. We need to use the syringe to teach her to swallow by manually just giving the milk through the mouth. So after that, after she knows how to swallow, you are supposed to force feed her on your breast to initiate the sucking motion. Just keep on doing it. It was pretty hard with a premature baby. If you think the full-term baby is hard for you to breastfeed, a premature is even worse because the mouth is so small and they didn't know how to suck and they keep falling asleep. So you really need to encourage and keep her awake, and whenever he is sucking, you hope that your milk is coming out. If she sucks and your milk is not coming out, then it's no use. She doesn't want to suck anymore, she will fall asleep. So it's just all the problem with the first time breastfeeding mother plus a very premature baby which doesn't know how to do it naturally, and you really need to encourage and set the environment right for the baby. So that was the stress of the second week. It was pretty crazy because you are already still recovering from labor and you are already sleep deprived. It's much more sleep deprived than taking care of a full-term baby because you need to feed her in 3 ways. First tube, then the mouth, and then breastfeed. And because you are expressing your breast milk for her, for those that is expressing, you need to wash everything in the hospital. There will be no nurse, no mother, no one there to help you, unless your husband will stay on with you 24 hours in the hospital maybe. And you still need to feed yourself, and of course you need to change the diaper. That is normal. You need to wipe, baby shit very often. So the cycle just keep repeating. Once you finish feeding and washing is 1 hour, then he poop, then you wash his butt, and then you need to go toilet, and then you need to eat something. By the time finish is already 2 hours, then it's another feeding cycle again. There's no time for sleep. So that 1 week was very intense, taking care of a premature baby in the hospital. After the baby is certified okay, can breathe, can feed, can shit, can regulate own temperature, then you can go home. So for 2 weeks, the baby was in the hospital. Then she's allowed to go home with us. And that time I had a confinement lady. So that time you start to slowly learn how to take care of a baby. But don't forget, if you are breastfeeding, you will be sleep deprived. Yeah, I didn't go for express breast milk. I just feed direct. I usually use direct latching. So most of the time, I'm the one responsible to feed the baby every time she needs the milk. So I did that I made the decision just because I am not working, so I don't actually need to use the bottle. And I heard that maybe after the baby is used to the bottle, they might not go back to the breast. I don't know how true is it, but I also don't want the difficulty of handling all the equipment with pumping. For me, pumping is more difficult, but it's just a give and take. You will just need to feed the baby. You are the only one responsible. You need to be there when the baby needs to be fed. Yeah, that is the down part of direct latching. So during the first 2 weeks when the baby was in the hospital, of course you are very worried. You also see other babies in the ICU. They were much worse cases, babies that were born 26 weeks. Actually, they have a chart of how many babies was in the hospital and at how many weeks they were born and how many of them actually died and how many of them survived. The death rate is no joke. Actually, there is still risk that the baby might not make it because they are just so young. At 34 weeks, usually the chances are quite high. Not to say no mortality at all, but it all depends on what the doctor tell you, the health and status of the baby. But at that time, for the first week, you couldn't see the baby. You are usually worried sick and you're a first-time mother. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what to think. And you come home, there's no baby with you. You have nothing to do. You are just thinking about your baby. And the second week, I was in the hospital taking care of the baby. So you were so busy, you couldn't think anything else. The progress of my baby, Linne, was pretty promising. There were no other risks of infection or no other complications except for a congenital hypothyroidism. That was the only worry for me because doctor alerted me that she might have this condition that require medication her whole life. So I did read about it. It was, after I understand the disease, it was not as terrible as I have thought. So everything was okay eventually. She progressed normally with other babies. She actually, of course, we are weighing her every day. And eventually, I think after a few months, she catch up with the growth of other babies. And yeah, I would say after that, she grew up pretty much normal like other baby. Except that her weight is always on the low side. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's premature, nobody knows. So it really depends on the individual baby if there is any complication or if doctor has alerted you of any concerns. Premature baby can grow up to be normal. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. If you do enjoy this video, do like our channel and subscribe to our channel and share it to your friends. Baby. Never mind, I just take for fun and same one on the expression. La 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 la. Okay lah, enough lah. Look at pasal. Never mind lah, same one expression, you got everything already.